Alright, so this is being recorded after the making of these two rings, and I would like to preface this entire video with this is not a tutorial. I have a vague idea of what I was doing, and it turned out to work, but I was melting metals down and casting them, and I am by no means an expert at metalsmithing in any way, shape, or form. I'm pretty damn good at making rings, but the whole silversmithing and metalsmithing thing is very new to me. So this is just a how I did it, not a how you can do it. Thank you. So I've got a pretty cool project here that I've been working on. This is a very old spur made out of brass. I'm like 99% sure. That was actually found on the Gettysburg battlefield. So a lot of history in this piece. I had a customer reach out to me and ask for a pair of custom rings built out of this spur. And this was a few months ago, and when the spur showed up, I realized that it is not big enough to just drill a hole in and simply make a ring out of. So I had to learn how to be a real jeweler and a real silversmith. So I finally started that journey. If you've been following along, you've been seeing all the different pieces out of silver and brass and copper that I've bent and soldered, and I've done a little bit of casting and things like that. So this project right here is what brought all of that on. I've spent thousands in tools since I took this project on, and I don't regret any of it a single bit, because I've opened up an entirely new world of possibilities. But anyways, I am going to take and cut this here and this here off, and I'm going to take these two arms of the spur. I'm going to try and save this piece and this piece right here on the end for the customer. They didn't request that, but I just would really like to save those two pieces. They kind of have the most character in them. This is where the little star goes. For when you spur the horse, this is where that little pokey bit actually rides at. And then I believe this is where the strap would go through to hold it to your boots. But I'm going to cut the two arms off. I'm going to weigh it and make sure that that's enough. But I just weighed the whole spur, and there's more than enough material here for me to get the metal I need to cast the two rings. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be cleaning this up after I cut it. I'm going to take the pieces that I cut off to work with me and bead blast them to get all this gunk and stuff off there. And then I'm going to make a mold. I'm going to cast it down and cast it into a rough shape of a ring. I actually have a ring here. I've been practicing setting stones in this one. I've also oblonged it just a little bit. But anyways, this was a practice cast for the larger ring out of this. This was the master that I used to make the mold is the same exact master that I'm going to be using to pour this down when I cast it. And it turned out great. I had just enough material, actually more than enough material, but good extra amount of material to machine it all off, so that I ended up with a perfect little ring here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this up. Cross my fingers. I have been putting this off for a couple months now because I'm terrified to mess it up. But at the same time, I have been practicing and practicing and practicing with all the different techniques that it's going to take to get this job done. I have been incredibly thorough with this job. I'm super excited. I hope that this turns out awesome. Ah, man, it's so cool. All right, anyways, let's cut into very historical piece. All right, there is no going back from here. Yep, it is most certainly brass. I don't know if you can. Oh yeah, you can see that. Yeah, that is definitely brass. Awesome. Alrighty, well, there we go. These two pieces here, I would very much like to save for the customer. And those two there should become rings. I'm gonna weigh these real quick and make sure that they're actually enough. Alright, so I took the pieces that I cut off to work yesterday and bead blasted them and then soaked them in the safety pickle this morning. So they should be clean and free of any impurities. I'm not totally sure if that's the case though, because I'm seeing a lot of red in there. I'm not sure if that's some oxidation or what exactly, but either way, they're ready to cast. These are the masters that I'm going to be using. I machined these out of some castable wax. I'm not going to be melting the wax out because I'm going to be sand casting with this flask here that I made out of a piece of pipe. And then I have my crucible. Excuse me, just took a drink of coffee, sorry. But anyways, I need to get the mold prepped. So let's work on that. I am no expert at this. I am still learning what I am doing, so I'm going to very quickly give a loose explanation of what's happening. But I'm not going to go into a lot of detail because I don't fully understand it and I don't feel like I'm entirely qualified to explain it. This is Delft clay, which is a very it's a type of sand that packs together very tightly and very well. This is my flask mold that I will be using to put the sand into, and then I will be pressing one of these rings into the sand, making a cavity for it, and then we can melt the metal and dump it in. So I'm going to chop this up real fine so it's nice and loose, and then I'm going to start packing it into one half of this mold, so probably a time lapse. Stick the two halves together and see how it looks. I like that sprue. That channel looks real good. I think we'll be in business. So this is a little bit more metal than I need. I'm going to see, I don't want to cut it because I don't want to lose metal, but I'm going to see if I can't just snap a little bit of that off. That's better. Let's go weigh these two pieces. I think that'll probably be just enough. Still more than I need. Let's break off this little tail. that is perfect here. That is exactly how much the test ring weighed when I made it, so that will be perfect. Now, I know that that doesn't look like enough to probably do her ring, however, or the smaller of the two rings, which will be hers. However, there will be the leftover sprue from the top of this ring after we cast it, so that will be added to this as well. So hopefully that should all be enough. Fingers crossed. I know that I can do math to weigh this out, but I don't have that accurate of a scale to weigh the wax and figure out exactly how much metal I need. So I don't have that accurate of a scale, so I can't do that accurate of math. So we're guessing. Alright. Time to make liquid metal, I guess. Damn. Just in case we have any extra metal left, we'll get a mold ready. An ingot mold. I like that. And boom. Let's hope that worked. Oh, look at that. That is so cool. Look at the smoke just coming out of the end there. Oh, it just started to go away as soon as I grabbed the camera. That was cool. Nice, and it looks like it was a successful cast. It looks complete. Alright. There is one successful cast. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut the sprue off this ring, and then we're going to weigh the rest of what we have, and then we're going to make a sand mold for this smaller ring, and hopefully we have enough brass, because I am not certain that we do. I think I must have moved my mold just a little bit when I was setting everything up, because this side of the ring is thicker than this side. Interesting. You know what? I'm thinking, and that's a dangerous thing, but I'm thinking maybe I'll mount this ring up in the lathe and turn it and collect all of the extra shavings and throw them in the crucible as well, just to give us a little bit more. Because I want to make sure that I have enough metal, because that does not quite look like enough now that I'm looking at it. Earlier it looked like enough for 2 rings, now it does not. So, yeah, I think I need to clean the lathe, because it's a little bit of a mess. Okay. Alright, there's a little bit of cleanup on the inside of the ring to do here, so I'm going to get that with a file. There's a couple little sprues from the air vents on the inside of the ring that we did in the mold. And there's just a couple little nibs sticking out. So just a little bit of file work, clean those up. A little bit of file work on the outside here. Let's grab a bigger file. Straight the outside ring here. That's a little better. Alright, now it's ready to late. Oh yes, that is very out of round. Alright. We're going to go slow, so that chips hopefully don't go all over the damn place. Because brass has a tendency to turn into like this really fine, like sandy powder, and it explodes everywhere. I turn brass at work all of the time, and I have brass 20 feet away from my machine. So because we're trying to save this, we're going to be nice and gentle. And the goal right now is just to make it perfectly round on the outside. We're just going to square everything up. Then we'll mount it in the 3-jaw. And we'll turn the inside of the ring to the right size. And then after the inside of the ring is done, it'll go back on this mandrel and we'll turn the outside of it again to the finished size. And the reason we're going to do that is because the jaws from the chuck will leave marks in the brass, and we don't want that. So we should have about 2 thou left to polish. I'm gonna go ahead and catch all the lemel and shavings and stuff real quick that I have up here. Yeah, most of that's missing. Because I'm going to do a little bit of sanding on the inside of this ring. And I don't want to knock all this heavier shavings that I have saved up all over the place. We're getting a little bit. Oh, there we go. It's not very thick, but we got a little bit there. Again, we'll see if that makes a difference in the end. Alright, so the inside of the ring is all polished up. We're going to try and save some of the shavings. The stuff off the sandpaper is super fine though, so I doubt I'll even be able to pick that up. But we'll get the mandrel mounted back up here. Alright, now we can finish turning the outside of this ring and get it down to finished size. Alright, now that I'm done with eating lunch, let's get this thing finished. And that, paired with what we have left here, should be more than plenty. Alright, that's all the further I'm going to take it, is just 800 grit, because I am going to take this into work and bead blast it for the final finish. Alright, so let's get the mold ready for the smaller ring. We'll pop the two out of there because those are reusable. We'll get rid of all this charred sand because this is garbage, but all the extra sand that's not blackened, it is all reusable. Ooh, I don't know if that went in all the way. That looked like it immediately stopped at the sprue. I don't think my opening was big enough. Yeah, nope, that was not a full cast. Got to do that one again. Alright, here goes attempt number 2 at this ring. Got a second mold all ready. That looked pretty good. Sticking. Damn it! One of these days I'll get to where I'm actually kind of decent at this, but that is not today. Alright. Let's try this for the third time. Third time's the charm, right? Alright. Here's the mold. I have an air vent dead center of the ring and one at the bottom, and then on the other side I have two in the bottom. So lots of airflow out the bottom, plenty of airflow going out in other spots in the mold. Let's check that. Nice big opening for the sprue. Lots of metal can get through there. Nope, that was not good. I don't think it was hot enough. Ah, that looked like a good one. Finally. Ooh. Alright, let's see how it turned out. Hey, that one worked. Only took me 4 tries. Hey, hey. Perfect. And this time, we don't have to save the brass. Alright, now all we need to do is remove this lip that's left on there, and then it will be as wide as it needs to be. And a file will clean that up pretty quick. Or I could just mount it on the mandrel and turn it down because it needs to come off anyways. Oh wait, I still need to finish the inside. File it is! Alright, there we go. Time to sand up the inside. There we go, that's better. Alright, so I was thinking of taking and coating the inside with some like nail polish or maybe just some tape or something to protect it from the sandblasting, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and sandblast them entirely. I'll just try and not get the inside near as much, and then I'll bring them home, put tape on the outside of the ring on the sandblasted finish, and then repolish the inside real quick to make the inside nice and smooth and shiny. But there they are, the his and hers set of rings out of the Gettysburg spur. A little bit more work to done until they're totally finished, but how cool is that? Very simple, very basic, but a very historical project. This one's pretty cool to build. I'm very happy. And there's the sprue. Alright, so they've been bead blasted at work, and I think they came out fantastic. This is exactly the texture that I was looking for. On this ring right there, you can see it. I accidentally bead blasted the inside of the ring just a little bit. I tried to polish it up with a Dremel and a buffing pad, but that didn't work. So they're going to need to be mounted on the lathe and sanded down just a teeny bit on the inside to bring that polish back. So let's wrap them in some electrical tape to protect them. Okay, let's get these over on the lathe. A little bit of alcohol on the inside. on the outside. Just get it all cleaned up. Oh man. How good does that look? Oh man, I can't wait to go take some pictures with the macro lens. Oh, just look at those two textures. Oh, I love it. The fact that I can get that kind of contrast just by finishing it differently. I was looking into it, and now I'm going to have to. I'm going to get myself a tiny little bead blaster so I can do this myself, because I have got to start offering some different surface finishes, because, I mean, just look at that. Oh, alright. Let's throw some pictures in here of the macro lens.